EA just added a huge new feature to the run game in College Football 26 that actually makes a huge difference. So in today's video, I'm going to go over some of my favorite ways to use this new feature and even show you some of the best run plays to use it on. Now, if you don't know, EA added the untarget the defender feature into the game this year, but until now, it only worked on passing plays. However, now, it actually will work on your runs too. Now, what this does, it is essentially you're able to tell your blockers to ignore a specific defender. And there's a lot of very good uses for this in the run game that make a huge difference. We're going to start off with a very basic example showing you guys how it works, and then I'll get into some of my favorite plays to use it on. So if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop me a like on the video. So the first thing is, how do you even untarget the defender? Simply flick the right analog stick up. Once you do that, you'll see the menu pops up, and to untarget the defender, you just scroll with the left analog stick, and the player with the flame over his head is the defender that will be untargeted. Now, if you want to select a defender, you simply hit the X button right over that defender, and that defender will not be targeted. So we'll just select this linebacker here just to show you how it works. This guy will not be blocked. So I'm just calling a very basic inside zone here. And you'll see we're not going to block him. And, he's not able to make the play. We get some good yardage. Now, if you don't even know who is going to be targeted to begin with on the running play you've called, all you need to do to figure that out is hold down L2 or LT and then just flick to the left on the right analog stick, and it brings up your blocking. And you guys can see that by default, that linebacker is targeted. He's supposed to get blocked once that lineman gets to the second level. Now, what I actually want to do here is, you can see by the blocking, that tight end is going to block the defensive end on the right. In order to make this run a little bit better, I don't really want that D end to get blocked because he's the backside D end. He's not going to affect this play unless he's a freak of nature. And I have a fast running back here, so 99% of the time, I'm not worried about him. So I'm going to flick the right analog stick up, select this defensive end on the right because I'm running left, and highlight him by hitting the select button. Now, what you'll notice when we do this, the tight end is not going to block that D end. He's going to get downfield, get on that safety, and you guys can see he actually got on that safety. Now, another run I feel like this makes a big difference on. Real quick, guys, if you want to dominate College Football 26 and win more games, sign up for my VIP membership on Sportsgamerz.com. You'll get access to all my premium content for the entire year, including all my offensive and defensive ebooks, weekly tip updates, and more. I'm running a limited time sale on my yearly membership where you get 7 months for free and 6 bonus ebooks. Over 99% of our members say that they win more games with our tips. Click the link in the description of this video and start winning more games now. Is stretches. With stretches, I'm really trying to get to the outside, right? So at the end of the day, I don't really need to worry about the backside, same as the inside zone, but it's going to be more enhanced on this run. So if I just go ahead and call this as is, they're going to block that defensive end on the backside, and it's a solid run. But I do feel like this could be better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and untarget this backside rusher. You'll see here the backside edge defender. I'm running right. I untarget the D end on the left. Now you see here how my tight end, instead of trying to get that D end, he actually blocks one of the linebackers on the second level. Big key, huge difference here. So you'll see 14. He lets that D end go, and he gets to the second level. He takes out one of those linebackers, or whoever that was on the second level, and now really all I have to do is hope that my tight ends on the right can hold their blocks, and I'm in the clear, right? You'll see. And because I also let this D end go, 86, he's doing what the tight end did on the previous play. He's trying to get downfield on that safety, right? So I'm basically at this point, first play I got 3-4 yards, maybe 5 at the most. But now with this one simple adjustment, I'm getting downfield one-on-one with the safety for potentially a touchdown. But even as is, a huge run. You also can apply this to different blocking schemes. Like here, for instance, we have a power with a pulling guard. Now, this is a good run in general. I do like these types of runs this year. You'll see that if I hike it with no adjustments, just stock, I got again, 3, 4, 5 yards. Could have been more, but one guy did kind of defeat his block. The thing here is on a run like this, I don't really care about this defender right here. This linebacker, he really is not going to affect the play the majority of the time. So I want to go ahead and untarget him. I feel like by untargeting him, we can focus more on the guys on the play side and hopefully get a little bit better blocking. So you'll see here, actually made a pretty good difference, I would say. I had more of a clear lane. I could apply this if I wanted to run the other way. I'm not really worried about the defenders on the weak side here. I'm really worried about getting behind my pulling guard and getting out. So if this linebacker happens to come through the A-gap, most of the time, unless like it's a user just shooting the gap like crazy, they're not going to make the tackle anyway. So I could definitely just untarget him. If he wants to run into the gap, most of the time he's just going to run himself out of the play anyways, and that just allows me to get better blocks and really focus on staying behind that puller. Now, I really like using this on shotgun runs like bases because they also have pulling guards. Now, if you look at the blocking assignments by default, you'll see that we actually have the tackle on the right blocking that D end. Not a huge fan of that, and the reason is I'd rather have my linemen and blockers just in general get on the second level versus blocking somebody on the weak side, especially when I have a pulling guard. I mean, it's just a waste of a block in my opinion. You guys can see there, I got nothing. So this time I'm going to go ahead and untarget the defender on this D end over here, hoping that that allows my tackle to potentially block, somebody like a linebacker on the second level that actually could make a play. And I actually just ran into one of my linemen there, I think. But you see the huge difference. We go from, nothing to a touchdown. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what just happened here. We let that D end go on the right. Again, he's not going to make that play anyways. And because of that, guess what? Now, we had this linebacker completely taken out. The guard that was pulling is free to get the only guy that could even make a play, and he doesn't even have to do that. And I'm off to the races. I actually think I messed up on my run stick by running into one of my guys, and I still scored a touchdown. If you want to learn how to make millions of coins for your cut team, check out the Coin Authority on Sportsgamerz.com. Click the link in the description of this video and use coupon code COINS for 10% off your order. The bunch tight end off tackle run is already pretty good, but using this feature on it makes it that much better. So what I always do on most of these runs anyways is just look at my blocking, and I can get a good idea of who's supposed to block who by default, and then use the untarget defender feature. So like right here on this run, you guys could see who's blocked. Basically, we're letting that safety go on the right in exchange for the corner. Honestly, I'd rather get that safety than the corner. So one thing I would look to do is untarget the corner. I'd rather have the safety blocked. I feel like that corner, just the chances of him making a play are less likely. I'd rather get that safety blocked, and you guys can see he was not in the picture. The other thing is on a run like this, again, it's an off tackle. This D tackle, honestly, let him go. If he comes into the backfield again, unless it's a superhuman, a super freak, he's not going to make a play, right? We'll let him go. I'd rather get downfield on those safeties and linebackers anyways. Another thing you could potentially do. Now, if you look at your blocking, you'll see that this receiver, one, is going to get the safety. But maybe that edge defender on these types of runs, a lot of times the edge defender on the side you're running to the ball is the whole key. And if he's blowing your tackle up, you're not going to get much. But if he gets blocked, you're probably going to have a good run. So you could say, well, that edge defender, he's winning, right? Well, in that case, you could untarget the safety, and then you're going to get the receiver to basically double on the edge. Most likely, yep, as you guys can see, he does. And now we're one-on-one with the safety. And because we had an easier edge to get around, it was better blocking, we were easily able to deal with the safety on our own. The chances of the safety blowing up the play himself aren't that great. I feel good about, with a good running back especially, getting around him. The whole thing that screws up the play is when we don't set the edge, and that basically strings it out. Here, you guys see, we didn't worry about the safety. We just got right around him anyways.